Jacqueline Aspitia, Rotary Peace Centers directors and representatives, fellow Rotarians and Rotary actors, Peace Fellows, distinguished guests, protocol observed. Welcome and thank you for being with us today. At the Rotary Club of Amman Citadel, we proudly open the doors each year for those who are passionate about promoting peace and resolving conflicts. At Rotary, we are committed to spreading peace around the world. And today, we are thrilled to introduce you to the incredible opportunities offered by the Rotary Peace Fellowships. This session is specifically crafted for those who are eager to make a meaningful and lasting impact in the world. Through the Rotary Peace Fellowship program, you will gain valuable experience, receive world-class education, and join global network of peace builders dedicated to creating positive change in the world. During this session, you will be guided through the application process. You will be shared with inspirational stories from past fellows who have led impactful peace efforts worldwide and answer any questions you may have. So let's get started. And I'd like to ask Past President Julius Shaheen to lead us through this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, President Firas. Second, let me share my thing. Start by asking past District Governor Dad, the representative of District Governor Hussein Jaziri, to give us his opening remarks.
Thank you, Past President Julius. Thank you, everyone. It's an honor to be here. Fellow Rotarians and guests, it's a great honor to be here today as a past district governor representing District 2452 on behalf of our esteemed current district governor, Hussein Jaziri. Together, we extend a warm, heartfelt welcome to all of you attending this Rotary Peace Fellowship Awareness session. I would like to express our profound gratitude to the Rotary Club of Amman Citadel, headed by President Firas Msharbash, for their detailed efforts in organizing this remarkable event. Their dedication and hard work have made it possible for us to come together and further our shared mission of promoting peace and understanding. A special acknowledgement goes to past President Julius Shaheen, a key member of the Rotary Peace Fellowship Committee. His tireless commitment and behind-the-scenes contributions have been helpful in bringing this initiative to life. We are fortunate to have such a devoted Rotarian working towards the noble cause of peace. The Rotary Peace Fellowship is a prestigious program that offers educational opportunities to individuals who have demonstrated a commitment to peace and conflict resolution. Through academic training, practical field experience, and global networking, our fellows are equipped with the skills and knowledge necessary to become effective peace leaders. This program is not just an investment in individual growth, but a collective step towards a more peaceful world. As we embark on this session, let us all be inspired by the stories and experiences shared today. May they ignite our passion for peace and reinforce our dedication to creating lasting change in our communities and beyond. Thank you once again for joining us, and I look forward to a fruitful and enlightening session. Thank you. Back to you, Past President Julius.
Thank you, Pastor Time. And I would like to ask the Rotarian Simona Penton, the chair of the Rotary Peace Centers Committee, to give us an introduction about the Rotary Peace political program. Simona?
Yes, thank you very much, Julius. Past President, dear current President of the Rotary Amman Citadel, the past District Governor, dear Center Directors, dear all. Is a real pleasure to be here with you and just to share a few words on the program itself in general, and then leave more room for details to others. I've been very fortunate to serve as the Rotary Peace Center Committee Chair, as a vice chair last year and the chair this year, and is one of the kind of service during this Rotarian year that is bringing really a lot of proudness, but also encouragement to me in really supporting this special program. It has already been said that through academic training, practice, and global networking opportunities, the Rotary Peace Center program developed the capacity of peace and development professionals to become effective catalysts for peace. I would like to focus on linking this program to the Rotary International and the Rotary Foundation mission statement, and then even to the priorities of the Rotary Action Plan. Advancing peace, as you know, is a part of our DNA as Rotarians and as an organization. And is really a core part, is a cornerstone within the peace area of focus, training peace leaders from around the world, and the alumni in turn contribute to our mission through their cross-disciplinary work in positive peace. The Rotary Peace Center program and fellowship primarily support two strategic priorities of the Rotary Action Plan: expand our reach and enhance participant engagement. The Peace Center expands the Rotary reach by engaging with 8 global university partners, connecting their faculty and students to our Peace Fellows and local Rotary members. You will listen more from the center directors soon after these few words I'm sharing with you. The program has been established, the Rotary brand in peace education at the international level, and has deepened our ties with other organizations in the peace building space. The program enhances participant engagement by providing both a top-tier academic experience and connection with the Rotary Nectar to Peace Fellows, allowing them to engage in meaningful service and hands-on experiences alongside their studies. Some courses that have been developed for the Rotary Peace Fellows are also available to members, to Rotarians. These programs help to advance the Rotary Action Plan. Over 90% of the Peace Fellows pursue a career in peace and development, creating measurable impact across sectors. Approximately 10% become Rotary members, while many more stay connected to Rotary through the Alumni Association, Peace Project incubators, or collaboration on the other services and grant initiatives. And it's really our duty as well as Rotarian to maintain and to nourish these connections. Engage in meaningful service and hands-on experiences alongside their... Sorry, there is an echo. This connection not only increase the impact and expand the reach of the Peace Fellowship program, but of other peace-building initiatives within Rotary through an increased focus on sustainable, responsible engagement with communities experiencing even conflict. Another main goal is to encourage innovative approaches to peace building and development. And this forward-thinking lens has led to the adaptations within the program's curricula and structure. There are clearly defined objectives. Has led to the adaptations within the program's curricula and structure. I'm sorry, I'm hearing a bad echo. Can I go on?
Something with the last thing that's repeated. Please go. Please.
Okay, so these are clearly defined objectives for this program: to keep an increasing number of peace and development practitioners with leadership skills, theoretical peace building knowledge, and practical skills to enhance the impact of their work through the certificate program, and keep emerging peace and development younger leaders with the knowledge and practice necessary to effectively build peace through a strong academic foundation rooted in critical thinking and theory and balanced by relevant training opportunities, thanks to the master program. I think there is no need for me to go on and to carry on, but I really wanted to provide you a context within to look at this program within the main Rotary Action Plan and statement and mission. And with that said, I thank again Rotarian and friend jurists for inviting me, and I give back to him the floor for the next participants to share their thoughts and experience. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Simona. That was a very enlightening speech. We'll start now with the center directors to introduce their centers to the universities they represent to the attendees. And as you all know, we have 7 centers around the world. We have represented with us 5 of them. 2 of them has apologized due to the issues with the timing, as in Japan and Australia, it's quite late right now. It's way after midnight. So we decided by our friend from University of Blackford, Dr. Fiona Makwale. I hope I said it correctly.
Okay, hello. I'm not going to be sharing any slides, just too technically complicated. But I would like to say welcome to everybody. We're very proud in Bradford that we're one of the founding members of the Rotary Peace Centre Network. So we've been going for 22 years now. And we generally take 10 students a year, as is normal in the centres that offer a postgraduate qualification. We offer either a master's or an MSc degree programme. They all last for 15 months. So just to run through what the degrees are, we offer a combination of peace and peace studies, but also development studies, which will include potentially economic understandings of development. So we have MA in Advanced Practice in Peace Building and Conflict Resolution, Peace, Resilience and Social Justice. And those 2 are very much about working at the grassroots and really understanding how communities become resilient and to deflect conflict. And also we teach a lot of soft skills, which I will talk about more in a moment. We use a lot of creative practice, and we expect our graduates, when they go out into the world, to be competent, ethical practitioners of peace who can work with a variety of different kinds of community situations and groups in an effective and ethical way. In the area of development, we have peace, conflict and development studies and sustainable development. And here we really focus on the interface between poverty, climate change, and conflict, the use of natural resources or the misuse of them, and so forth. So we're increasingly focusing on environmental issues, as you might imagine, both because they create scarcity and conflict. We have an MA in International Relations and Security Studies, and that is probably more for people interested in going to work with international organizations, security sector organizations. One of our graduates has worked with NATO for the last 8 years and was chief of staff to the head of NATO. Or those who are wanting to work in a diplomatic capacity or at that international level. Finally, we have MA in International Development Management for people wanting to work with NGOs at an international level to understand policy, project management. And finally, we have Economics and Finance for Development, again, very relevant in all kinds of areas dedicated to fighting poverty, particularly understanding questions of income and how economies function. So we have these 7 programs. You can choose any one of them. As I said, we put a lot of emphasis on soft skills. And for that reason, we also offer a lot of what we call extracurricular or co-curricular activities. They may be offered in the evenings or on the weekends or even during the vacation time when we're not running classes. And those vary from facilitation skills, peace education training. We work with local community groups and schools. We also offer creative practice training. So we have a 2-day session on theatre of the oppressed, how to use drama techniques in working with community groups. More on the international relations side, we also run a 2-day simulation, imagining a complex interstate or intrastate conflict somewhere in the world, in a region, where everybody acts out the part of an international actor. It might be a diplomat, it might be representing the United Nations and so forth. It's a very useful exercise for really stretching our students. In today's world, I think we will be hard pressed to choose from the different scenarios that we could be facing in the next 12 months. We also offer study trips to Northern Ireland. We have which looks at peace building in that context, to an African country where we'll look at both peace and development issues. And so we feel that our USP as a centre is about practice, applied learning. So we learn in the classroom, we step out of the classroom. I've just taken my students on a study trip on foot around Bradford to do a sort of ethnographic work. So we feel that we're the kind of place that students should come and apply to if they want to get their hands dirty, to get a bit of practice, to do applied work. Where we, of course, explore all of the difficulties of doing that in the field training. And finally, like all of the other centres that offer a degree programme, we offer the 3-month applied field experience. And our students will typically be anywhere in the world. I've got some I was going to mention, but I think I'm going to run out of time, where our current students have been placed. And what we found is that the students who come to us, our fellows, are often very helpful in finding their colleagues good placements in their country of origin. So this year we had students in Uganda, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Cambodia, Philippines, Greece, and other places. I've just finished marking the dissertations from our graduating students, and it is really clear that they really took advantage of their placements to learn about something new, a different context, a different way of framing a topic, even the one they thought they were familiar with. And that learning, that depth and breadth of learning, really comes through in their final dissertations. So that's Bradford. We're a city in Northern England. We're a wonderful place. This year Bradford is the city of culture. And it's a very rich environment to learn in. It's a city not without its challenges, but everybody who comes here to study ends up falling in love with Bradford. So we hope that applicants will consider us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fiona. That was very insightful. Next, with Thomas Lafferty, the Rotary Peace Center Coordinator at the Joint Peace Center of Duke and University of North Carolina. Thomas, the floor is yours.
Great. Thank you so much, Jerry's. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world, at the moment. My name is, Tom Lassiter, and I've served as the program coordinator for the Duke UNC Rotary Peace Center since 2022. I really appreciate the invitation from Rotary Amman Citadel to speak today, and send regards from our managing director, Susan Carroll, who would be here today. She is actually in Istanbul at the moment, representing our center at the 2025 Rotary Presidential Peace Conference in Turkey. So I'll have a few slides that I'd like to share about just to give a visual about our center and the fellowship experience here, and I'll try to get those up in just a second. Okay. So yeah.
This is nice.
For 1 second, trying to get. Okay, is it coming through for everyone? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay, so I just like to start off with just a basic overview. What is the Duke UNC Rotary Peace Center? So our center is the only joint center in the Rotary Peace Fellowship Program, and is structured as a partnership between two world-class universities, Duke University in Durham and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, which are located about 15 kilometers apart in the U.S. state of North Carolina. Like the other master's degree centers, we admit about 10 fellows each year who are mid-career professionals dedicated to advancing causes related to peace development to pursue a 2-year master's degree. However, we take a slightly different approach at our center. Unlike the other centers, we actually don't offer a master's in peace and conflict studies. Instead, we focus on the prevention of conflicts through sustainable development as a way of improving human security. This is based on the belief that societies in which citizens have access to adequate food, shelter, healthcare, clean water, and education will be less likely to engage in conflict. To that end, half of our fellows are admitted to Duke University to study to study international development policy at the school's Stanford School of Public Policy. Meanwhile, our other fellows are admitted to UNC Chapel Hill, where they choose from a variety of different master's programs, which align with their interest and previous work experience in peace building and development. Along these lines, some of our most popular program offerings at UNC in the past have included public health, social work, global studies, education, journalism, and many others. However, our students often, come away, with. Oh, I'm sorry. Our students come away having been students at both universities, or feeling like they've been students at both universities and having taken classes at both Duke and UNC. And between Duke and UNC, they're able to take advantage of some of the best faculties and academic research resources in the world. So here is a brief snapshot of how our program is structured. So first and foremost, our fellows are graduate students in the programs to which they've been admitted. But on top of those requirements, fellows have additional course requirements and responsibilities. So, for example, our fellows undertake a core curriculum through our center, which includes classes on subjects, such as those that are listed here, which include, classes on subjects such as human rights and conflict, monitoring and evaluation for peace building interventions, and the theory and practice of conflict transformation. Over the course of their 2 years here in North Carolina, our fellows benefit from several workshops and seminars that we organize, some of which are public and others which are only for our fellows. These include skills building workshops on topics such as conflict sensitive programming, public speaking, and grant writing. Professional development is also a major part of our center's program. So for example, we organize an annual trip to Washington, D.C. to meet with professionals at organizations such as the U.S. Institute of Peace, UNHCR, Oxfam America, and more organizations such as that to network to give fellows the opportunity to network and explore future career pathways. Finally, at the end of their program, graduating fellows participate in our annual spring conference and have the opportunity to present on their research over the past 2 years on topics related to peace building and development. Our next conference is actually coming up very soon on April 5th. So if you're interested in learning more about what our fellows do at Duke UNC and what the fellowship experience looks like here, we live stream it. So people from around the world can tune in. So if that's something that you're interested in, you're more than welcome to check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. So you can find more information about registering and participating. So that's a very, very quick crash course about all things at Duke UNC. So I appreciate the time, and I'll hand over the virtual mic back to Jerry's.
Thank you, Thomas. Uh, and next we will have from Uppsala University, Dr. Karen Brunner.
Thank you very much, Jared. My name is Karen Bernaeus. I'm a professor here at the Department of Peace and Conflict Research. I thought I will actually try and share my screen
Sure.
and see if that's possible. Yes, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Very good. Am I showing you everything? I'm a little bit uncertain
You're
what you...
sharing the presenter view, not the presentation itself.
Yes. Is it still that?
No,
it's
Dr. Karen, stop the sharing
Okay.
and then reshare after you start the slideshow.
Thank you. I'll see if this works, and otherwise I'll just go ahead and you can see everything. Now, how is that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Is better? Okay.
Yep.
So apologies. Thanks everyone, and thanks Jairus for inviting also the Uppsala Rotary Peace Center to this lovely gathering. So Uppsala is now, having heard from both my colleagues, I would say I'd love to go to all of these 7 centers that we have around the world. I mean, it's amazing programs that Rotary International has, the 7 peace centers. Uppsala is in the middle of Sweden. We usually say it's the oldest, Uppsala University is the oldest university in Northern Europe, established in 1477. And has long traditions of bringing in students from all over the world and making Uppsala kind of a new home. We here at the Department of Peace and Conflict Research are a quite new department relative to 1477. We established in 1971. We're a young discipline, but already quite well established here, actually. We're seen as the flagship of Uppsala University, thanks to one of our kind of features, which is this UCDP, so the Uppsala Conflict Data Program. But if you come to Uppsala as a Rotary Peace Fellow, we have also, as the other centers, 10 students per fall who come to us. You will have a 2-year program, a Master of Social Science in Peace and Conflict Research. And our kind of USP, unique selling point, is maybe the research focus. So our aim is for you to gain advanced knowledge and assessment skills to critically examine and analyze the origin, development, and resolution of organized violence on a scientific basis. So the program is very research-oriented and placing a lot of emphasis on independent writing, critical thinking, methods training, but also aspects like research ethics, reflexivity on these difficult issues that we are trying to study, and the promises and pitfalls of doing this difficult work. So our research, and I see my colleagues have, Liana Lopez has put together these slides for me. So our research pertains to a vast, very many different areas. We have a quite new disarmament center, the Alva Myrdal Center. We do conflict mapping, so the Uppsala conflict data program that I mentioned, causes of conflict, negotiation and mediation. As you see here, many different topics. My own area is the psychological dimensions of conflict. My background is as a clinical psychologist. So we have a quite broad range of topics, and this permeates really the education here. So all of the professors you meet teach on their topics of expertise. And that is an aspect that our students really appreciate. So there's a lot of engagement from the teachers, from the professors, and well, then we have the blessing of having the Rotary Peace Fellows in our class who bring enormous richness through all of the experience that they come in with. If you come to Uppsala as a Peace Fellow, this is what the structure looks like. So you begin in late August, early September, and the first term till Christmas, January, is courses here at the university. And then in the spring term of year one, also courses where you choose a little bit more. So the first term you have causes of war and methods, and the second term you have international conflict resolution, and then a wide range of topics where you can design your own studies a little bit more as per your interests. In the summer then, June to August, our students go on the applied field experience, either abroad or in Sweden, come back or stay on to do their internship, and otherwise if they come back, study again at Uppsala, and then the last semester, so of year two, is writing the master's thesis. Outside the classroom, we have a lot of activities, as do the other centers. We visit different authorities and institutes. Just the other week, we were at the Dag Hammarskjöld Foundation here in Uppsala for a really fantastic visit. We have different seminars and workshops and mentorship programs. So a lot of activities also outside the classroom. Our alumni can be found all over the globe. We have, as head of emergency operations at the ICRC, we have people at the Women, Peace and Security Program, at the Kroc Institute, at Notre Dame, Africa Desk Officer at the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, lots of different places. We're very proud of our one student who was the Uppsala Alumnus of the Year a few years back. And so, yeah, just to say a very, very warm welcome to everyone. And don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. And we actually also have our annual seminar coming up that I just wanted to mention. That's on April 24. And this year is really special. We have President Stephanie Urchik as our keynote speaker. So we have reserved the largest room at the Uppsala University kind of main building that some of you know of. So it will be a really special event. So please do not, let me know if you would like to come, and I'll be sure to send you an invitation. It would be lovely to have you here. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Karen. That was very insightful as well. And next, we will have Dr. Dixon Anakulia, the representative of the Rotary Peace Center of Makerere University. Dr. Dixon, the floor is yours.
Thank you.
Would you like
Can
to
you hear me?
share the screen or?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so my name is Dr. Dixon Kanyakula. I'm the assistant at Makere Rotary Peace Center. Our director, Professor Helen, she's on official travel to Japan, and their timeline is really too late at this time, so she couldn't make it. So I'm just going to share a few slides and I don't know, is it appearing now? Are you seeing it?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so Makere is ranked number 5 in Africa by Times Higher Education. So I'm not going to take a lot of time on that, but maybe I just say that it's the only center in Africa, a Rotary center in Africa, and it's boasts of. Let me just go to the next slide. So far, we have admitted students from all those countries, Rotary Peace Fellows. It's a professional development diploma in peace building, development, and conflict transformation. And I think this data needs to be updated. It's a bit like 1 year behind, but that's the range of people that so far we have got at the center. And the focus of the program at the center is mainly experiential learning. So we have 2 weeks of online studies. It's mainly experiential learning. We introduce them 2 weeks online, then they come for 2 months on site, where they go through the normal theoretical training, and then the heavy part of the training is experiential, field-based. They do a lot of field study. Remember, we are in the Great Lakes region with so many conflicts going on around. So there are so many places we can visit, like Rwanda, Kenya, so many conflicts that are going on around our region. So they visit and they have hands-on experience on what is happening around the region. So apart from the official diploma they do, they also have a chance to train in other professional growth certificates, like certificate in, as we know, positive peace, peace activation, leadership in Africa, and many other, like 5 other certificates they do during the course of the time when they're being trained. So the center helps the students. As you know, we don't admit those who are not already in their professions. The aim is to help those who are already in their profession to grow into peace builders wherever they find themselves, wherever they are working, so that they can be better peace builders around the continent and beyond where they may find themselves. So as a center, we pride ourselves in really building a hands-on approach using experiential learning and helping the fellows get to activate and to put in practice the theory they learn. So we have what they call the social change initiatives, like a project that they carry out in either their country of origin or in Uganda or any other country that is in Africa, where they can go and have 6 months of implementing it. And after that, they come back and report, or what we call the capstone week, which is like a graduation week, where they come and graduate and present the results of their work that they have done. Remember, it's a 1-year diploma. So we blend it, as one of the centers already mentioned, Bradford, we blend it a lot with development questions, because as you know, in Africa, there are so many development questions that are related to peace building, so you cannot ignore them. So there are a lot of questions on methods and approaches to peace, to development, and how they intersect with peace. They are very big questions that the students encounter in the course of the training. The training is multidisciplinary, professors from different departments. Makere is the one of the biggest universities in Africa, so a variety of professors from different departments.
But I'm happy they all know some English. Can survive it.
I think Dr. Dixon has stopped.
Seems there's a problem with the connection.
I thought that my side only.
It's up to
No, we also
Okay.
cannot hear him.
Yeah, so he dropped. Okay. So until he comes back, we will move to the next center. Now, unfortunately, the centers with Baltimore University couldn't join us. I believe they're quite busy with the launch of their second cohort. As I said, Uppsala and ICU couldn't do as well. However, we would use the video that was shared with us last year by Uppsala University, by Dr. Osamu, for the to introduce his piece as a peace center at ICU. So let me share the sound. Can you see my screen now? There we go.
I thank Mr. Shaheen and Rotarians for inviting me to this opportunity to introduce ICU Rotary Peace Center in Tokyo, Japan. I'm Osamu Arakaki, director of the center. I'm a professor of international law. I am afraid I cannot take part in this meeting live today. Please understand that the new academic year in Japanese universities starts in April, so I'm currently overwhelmed by the duties of new courses and student advice and so on. However, thanks again to allow me to appear in this video. First of all, let me introduce our new associate director of the center, who was appointed 5 days ago. That is Professor Walter Dawson. Professor Dawson is specialized in education and Asian studies. His research focuses include policy studies, international relations, democratizations, and so on. We have also Ms. Aki Matsumura, who is assisting peace fellows at the administration side on a daily basis. The ICU Rotary Peace Center is unique because the nature of the center derives from the character of our university ICU. The university was founded on the strong international tradition, and we have students with the various nationalities and diverse religions. ICU is also a liberal arts college, and its Master of Arts in Peace Studies is well known as an interdisciplinary program. Its high academic standards and dialogue-centered approaches across the program make ICU a different institution, not only in Japan but globally. Secondly, The uniqueness of our center is brought by our approach to peace studies, not only from the theoretical but also empirical perspectives. For example, pragmatic viewpoints from practitioners are essential for the courses of genocide studies, multilateral diplomacy, international organization with peace, refugee law, and so on. Indeed, the former associate director of the center, Professor Herman Sultan, served for the UN headquarters as an advisor. Although he left the management of our center, he is still teaching the core course for the Rotary Peace Fellows. I was also a staff member of the UN Humanitarian Agency and International Development Agency. One of the instructors of the program is Ambassador, who was a permanent representative to the United Nations. Third, let me point out very unique extracurricular activity of our center, which is Hiroshima field trip. This photo is taken when the trip was conducted. Last month, Peace Fellows visited many peace-related sites, including Peace Memorial Museum and Park in Hiroshima. They listened to the testimonies of the survivors or hibakusha and engaged in fruitful dialogue with experts there. Finally, let me express the ideal candidates for our center, ICU. In addition to the general requirements, in common with other centers, the ideal candidates for ICU Rotary Peace Center are, firstly, those who have strong academic capacity in various backgrounds, including not only social sciences, but also even natural science, so long as they satisfy the requirements set for the fellows, because we're the liberal arts college. Second, we need candidates who take deep interest in Asia, more specifically Japanese culture, Japanese history, Japanese language. Third, and final, we are looking for the candidates with the serious commitment to be a practitioner in future to contribute to peace at the national and international phases. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dr. Dixon, you're back. So if you'd like to continue what you have started before you got interrupted by the internet, please do. Dr. Dixon?
Oh, thank you. Sorry, the internet got cut off. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
But I'm just going to say just a few things so that we can end there. So what I was saying before I got cut off was that since it's the only center in Africa, we put a lot of emphasis on the African perspectives or views on peace building. We do a lot of discussion and field visits on traditional approaches in the local communities on peace building, which is a unique approach to peace building, and which I think those who are interested in knowing more are welcome to come and learn from this. They're very, very rich learning experiences. And we also encourage the applicants to be ready for a lot of field work and field trips so that they can learn more on the ground with the people who are doing the actual work on the ground. So the candidates, as other centers have mentioned, the requirements are on the Rotary websites and social media platforms. And here we take people who are already working or have experience of work and are willing to experience or explore peace building in the African context. So we bring a lot of people who have either worked here or interested in working here or plan to work here so that they can apply their knowledge to practical challenges in Africa. Maybe as a parting shot is just to mention that we have hosted two past Rotary International presidents who have participated in some of the functions and the graduation ceremonies, which has really been a boost for the center. And the university is willing to really work with the center and the Rotary fellows and encourage them. Each year we admit between 40 and 50. Some year, I think because of the year when there was COVID, some few did turn up, but between 40 and 50, and those are divided in two cohorts each year, alternating cohorts that there's around 24 to 25 between each cohort, which study every year. So each year we admit them in those cycles, and they meet on the capstone of graduation week and probably share for 2 weeks, and then one group exits when another is joining. So we will welcome everyone who's willing to come and join us, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Dixon. That's on the University of Queensland, just to make sure that also all our attendees are aware of what are their offerings. The University of Queensland, they offer a degree in Master of Peace and Conflict Studies that runs for 18 months, and they are the only center that provides the program on starting in February rather than in September, October, October next. The required requirements is a bachelor's degree or equivalent and a strong research and design for both theoretical knowledge. Their experience requirements includes at least 3 years of working experience, whereas the average accepted at that center was 7. And that could be directly related to peace and conflict resolution. The English requirements is also with social scoring or IELTS. And last but not least, the activities they refer work as a professional development sector computer, special activities for international peace and career mentoring programs. The British University, they do offer professional development certificate in peace and conflict development study. And that is the newest center in the MENA region. The experience requirement is substantial working experience and is not involved in the field directly in peace building or related peace building conflict resolution. And the candidate should be from working or interested in the MENA region. There are activities include visiting Ankara, Kyrgyzstan, Gaziantep, Mardin, and Hatay regions, and practice Nicosia, whereas it's a frozen conflict area. Those the 7 centers has been introduced to you. Next, we will be tackling the application process. So please welcome Jacqueline Inspector Clements, our Rotary Peace Centers Program Manager. Jacqueline, the floor is yours. I believe you would like to share, right? Jacqueline, you're muted.
My apologies. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Can you hear me okay, though?
Yes, we can.
Okay, wonderful. All right. And can everybody see that first slide?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Again, my name is Jacqueline Aspatia Clemens, and I am the program manager for the Rotary Peace Centers. I am based out of Evanston, Illinois, in the United States, which is also the headquarters for Rotary International, as you know. And I'd like to begin by thanking RPC committee member Jerry's for the invitation to speak today. I really appreciate the opportunity, and it's a pleasure to be on this call with everyone. I'm going to go over the application process. Before I do that, though, I'd like to just give a brief history and overview of the program. Rotary approved the creation of the Rotary Peace Centers program back in 1999, and our inaugural class of Peace Fellows began their studies at several of our universities in 2002. The purpose of the Rotary Peace Centers is to create a sustainable peace within our communities across the globe, and it does so through the network of peace builders and community leaders dedicated to the prevention and the peaceful resolution of conflicts across the globe. Thanks to the generous support of donors and the dedication of Rotary members, we have more than 1,800 Peace Fellow alumni that have graduated from our program since its inception in 2002. And they are currently advancing peace through their work in more than 140 countries. Rotary has 7 Rotary Peace Centers at 8 universities. You've heard from them today. This is just a map to give us a good visual of where we're all located. We have 5 centers. You'll see them displayed here in dark blue. 5 centers which offer the master's degree in disciplines related to peace and development. 1 in the US, 1 in Japan, 1 in England, 1 in Australia, and 1 in Sweden, whom you've heard from today. Then in light blue, you'll see our 2 certificate programs. Our center at Makerere University in Uganda offers a postgraduate diploma in peace building and conflict transformation. And this year we welcomed our very first cohort just a couple weeks ago to our newest peace center at Bahçeşehir University in Istanbul. This program also, like MAC, offers a 1-year professional development certificate program with a postgraduate diploma in peace and development studies. The new Peace Center at Bahçeşehir makes progress towards the Rotary Foundation's long-term goal of expanding Rotary Peace Centers in key geographic regions. The Rotary Peace Fellowship is generous and comprehensive. Rotary's goal is to accept fellows from diverse backgrounds, regardless of their financial means. The program is funded through endowments created by donors to the Rotary Foundation, as well as district-designated funds. Just a reminder that Rotary clubs and districts do not need to provide any funding in order to recommend candidates to the fellowship. Fellowship funding includes tuition, accommodations, travel, and field experience expenses, as you can see here listed. This is a brief overview of both our programs. Each year, 50 Rotary Peace Fellows are selected to earn a master's degree, 10 from each center, and 80 are selected to earn a postgraduate diploma through either one of our certificate programs. Our master's programs range anywhere from 15 to 22 months, and they vary by the center as long as what the duration of that time would be. Fellows in the master's program typically are at the start of their careers, and they must have at least 3 years of relevant professional experience. Whereas our certificate program is designed for proven leaders in the peace and development field, but it's regionally focused. Fellows are selected as part of a 20-person cohort, training together to address the complex challenges impacting their countries and communities. Let's go over quickly just the brief kind of requirements for a master's degree candidate applying for the fellowship. The ideal master's candidate is academically strong. They have a bachelor's degree in a related field. They have work experience in peace and development that aligns with Rotary's mission. Candidates need to demonstrate a commitment to peace and conflict resolution, be able to undertake extensive reading and research, and be able to actively participate within a diverse cohort of students. In addition, master's degree students must also be proficient in English, have a strong commitment to cross-cultural understanding and peace, demonstrate leadership skills, and again, have at least 3 years of full-time experience in peace or development work. As far as the certificate candidates, the ideal candidate is a proven peace and development leader with at least 5 years of relevant work experience. Candidates will have a social change initiative they are passionate about implementing in their regions or their communities. This is a key component of our certificate program, which separates it from the master's program. It's that social change initiative that our candidates work on. Candidates will also need a clear vision of how the fellowship experience and network will advance their peace work and increase their impact. Certificate candidates must also be proficient in English, have a bachelor's degree, have a strong commitment to cross-cultural understanding and peace, as shown through professional and academic achievements, and personal or community service. They must also demonstrate leadership skills and be able to explain how they plan to promote peace as it aligns with Rotary's mission. While global candidates are eligible to apply for each one of the programs at the certificate centers, they must meet one of the following regional eligibility criteria. They must either be from the region, have work experience in that region, work on initiatives relevant to the region in other parts of the world, or demonstrate a compelling interest in regional approaches to peace building. After the program, candidates from both the master's or certificate programs must be willing to share their own work and experience, stay in touch with peace fellows in their regions, as well as maintain strong connections with Rotary members. And next, I'd like to go over the program eligibility restrictions. Rotary Peace Fellowships may not be used for doctoral study. Active Rotary members or Rotaract members who happen to also be Rotary members, their spouses or lineal descendants are not eligible to apply. Former Rotary members and their relatives must wait 3 years after their resignation to apply. Rotaract members are eligible just as long as they're not dual Rotary Club members. Rotary Peace Fellows who have completed the certificate program or a Rotary Global Grant Scholarship must also wait 3 years between the end date of that program and their intended start of the Rotary Peace Fellowship. And lastly, candidates must have at least 3 years between the completion of their most recent academic degree program and their intended start date for the fellowship. Candidates currently enrolled in an undergraduate or graduate program are not eligible to apply. We see this every year where candidates are currently enrolled in different types of academic degree seeking programs while they're applying for our program. But it's important to remember there has to be at least a 3-year gap between when they've completed that degree and when they start the Peace Fellowship. And finally, I'd like to end by providing an overview of how to actually apply for the fellowship. So the online application opened earlier this month. It's important that candidates read carefully all the eligibility requirements and restrictions, as well as thoroughly research the curriculum and programs at each Rotary Peace Center, and be ready to rank the top 2 centers for the master's program or choose which certificate program they are eligible for. It comes across very clear if a candidate has done their research when they're applying for the center of their choice. We can definitely tell that they've looked it up and feel like they're a good fit, and that comes across in the essays that they submit in their application. Applications will require a resume, academic and/or professional recommendation, essays. For the master's program, candidates have to submit transcripts from post-secondary college and universities that they attended, as well as language proficiency test scores, or give the reason why they would be exempt. Applications to the certificate program require candidates to submit a social impact plan. Again, that goes back to the social change initiative. That is a key element of the certificate program. Candidates are encouraged to engage with the Rotary Club to learn about Rotary's work in their community and globally. Candidates can use the online Club Finder tool to identify a Rotary or Rotaract club near them, as well as they can identify an online club should they choose. The club or district recommendation form is an optional part of the online application. However, we highly recommend that a candidate submit a district or club recommendation if they're able to, as that strengthens their application. Candidates submit the online application to the Rotary Foundation by 15 May. So there's still plenty of time to recommend a candidate and for them to fill out the application online. All applications are considered final once they've been submitted and no edits can be made after submission. Submitted applications, are screened for eligibility requirements. And then once they're screened, qualified applications will then move forward for further review and rigorous evaluation. And finally, the Rotary Peace Centers Committee, which is composed of Rotary members and university representatives, review the top candidates and then select their finalists for each university. These selected candidates are then notified in November. Let me stop my share. Actually, can you stop the share for me? I'm not sure how to do it on my index. But all that being said, this will conclude my
Good,
portion
we'll stop
of
the
the
sharing
session.
for you.
Thank you. And I'd like to express my gratitude again for the invitation and for all of you in attendance for your interest and support of our fellowship program. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Okay. Next, we will just go quickly through the okay. We will go through quickly now through the application itself. What is within the application? What are the questions that are in the application? And afterwards, we will listen to testimonies of two of the Peace Fellows that we have with us, Juanita Serrano and Elise Nassif. So the application questions are basically, it's a multi-stage application. Eligibility questions where you declare your eligibility, whether your use of experience, whether you are related to a Rotary member, or whether you've completed a master's degree earlier as within the fellowship. Those are the, let's say, the disqualifying items for the fellowship. Afterwards, you will be faced with personal information, the identity question, defining yourself, your gender, your date of birth, all this stuff, your contact information, your address, and the referral pathway in which you have been, you knew about the fellowship. The next set of questions are the program selection. So you will be prompted to select from either a master's degree or a professional certificate within the application. If you choose the master's degree, you will be prompted to opt for what's your first preference and the second preference. However, if you chose the Duke UNC, you would also need to order your preference between Duke and UNC, which is your first and the second preference, and the Department of Interest at UNC. When selecting the professional certificate, you will be asked to specify why you're eligible for that center. So basically, if you are selecting the MENA or the African Center, you would specify whether you are from the MENA region, working in the MENA region, or working with people from the MENA region, living elsewhere, or if you are interested to know about conflict resolution methodologies in the MENA region. Same goes for Makerere University. Then you identify your district, which district you are from. For those who are in the Middle East or in the one of the 9 countries that represents our district, Sudan, Cyprus, Jordan, Palestine, Lebanon, Georgia, Armenia, Bahrain, and United Arab Emirates. We are in District 2452. Then you would have to provide your relevant experience, all the work that you have done, and how is it related to the to the peace and development, your education experience and transcripts, and then the cross-cultural experience that you have. You list the countries that you've visited and the ones that you've lived in for considerable time and their impact on your international understanding. The languages that you speak, and you need to upload a personal statement video of 2 minutes. Last year, it used to be recorded through the system or uploaded. This year, it is uploaded on the system. So you need to record the video for yourself and upload it to the system to introduce yourself to the assessors. Now, then you have, for the master degree, you have to fill for 5 essays. Those who have been with us throughout the years, there has been a couple slight changes in the essays this year. The first essay is about service above self, describing how you demonstrated this value either in an initiative over time or on one particular initiative. Provide the details about the situation and the approach of creating the change and what was the results. The second one is about Rotary's mission to provide peace. How will the Rotary Peace Fellowship prepare you to advance this mission beyond your current professional abilities, to include details relevant to your own work history and experience? As you can see, all of the essays would include elements of personal matter that would reflect that individuals or the person who is applying his own work. And that, to be honest, that is part also of the new advancement that's happening with the generative AI and the amount of essays that we've been seeing being written by such tools. The master's degree fellows are expected to conduct independent research. So you have to discuss your academic research interest in the peace and development and career goals. You have specified 2 centers. Each center would have a certain set of criteria and a certain set of field studies. You have to describe how you are relevant to that center. Now, you can find all of these information, by the way, even if we haven't discussed them in details, you can find them on the Rotary website. There's a fact sheet, and then for each center, there's its own website and it would have all the details on the work they do. Now, for the certificate, there are 2 major elements. The one is the service above self part, describing it, and then the social change initiative, in which you need to discuss the plan to implement during the fellowship. What's your initiative? Is it a continuation or it's a new one? The need or problem that is addressing and the outcome you're expecting to achieve, the knowledge and skills you will gain during the fellowship, the challenges you anticipate, and the potential partners and collaborators that you could support your initiative. Those are the 5 questions that you need to answer in the social change initiative. Then you need to provide recommendations and be sure that those recommendations are put correctly. For the master's program, you need to provide one academic and one professional recommendation. Remember, this is an academic degree, so the academic recommendation is an essential one. For the certificate program, you would need to provide 2 professional recommendations from your professional peers, whether peers or supervisors. Please be sure not to provide your friends' recommendations or your domestic partner or whoever, for someone who knows you on a personal level rather than a professional level. It is recommended, and it will give more strength to your application, to contact a Rotary Club, or a district for them to provide you with a recommendation for your application. Before we move to our Peace Fellows, I would like to ask you all, I would launch a survey now that will, it will just a quick survey to understand how you knew about the session, and I appreciate if you can just quickly answer it. It's a 4-question survey that could be answered in a few minutes. Thank you. Can you see the survey?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll leave the survey open for people to fill. And Elise, the floor is yours. I would like to, if you can share with us your 2-minute summary about the fellowship and what you're learning right now. Elise is a current Peace Fellow in University of Bradford. Elise, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. It's good to see everyone. Hello, PDG, Bashar, and everyone. So my name is Elise. I am a Rotary Peace Fellow. I'm also like majorly a Rotary actor for the past 7 years. So it's an honor to be a Rotary Peace Fellow because Rotary means a lot to me, the values and everything that we work on as Rotary actors, and continuing this journey of my career, and actually answering to my mom, like because our parents generally in Rotaract, and I think you can get that from young Rotaractors, their parents keep asking them like, you're putting a lot of your time on Rotaract and you should focus on your career. And finally I can tell my mom, well, Rotary gave me this opportunity to further shape my career and support my professional career. So I recently started my master's at the University of Bradford. Hello, Professor Fiona. It's been a very interesting journey until now with the classes and everything. But I want to talk first about how I came to be. I just wish that everyone who applies to it not to give up. I applied for the first time and I got rejected. And I promised myself that if the second time I would get rejected as well, then I would join my Rotary club, because they've been asking me to join them, with the all Elevate Rotaract and everything. We can be dual members, but if I become a Rotarian, I won't be able to do the Rotary Peace Fellowship anymore. And then I got accepted. And then when I did, it was it was a shock because I wasn't like fully aware, or I wasn't fully ready. But as soon as, I started reading about the program and everything, I saw the opportunity that I would get by attending Bradford Uni. And the Peace Fellows with me are amazing. They come from different backgrounds, they come from different countries and different perspectives on peace implementing projects and peace building. So my master's is in international relations and security studies, and my main focus is the application of security to paving way for peace and peace. And I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you that I'm from Lebanon, so I am part of District 2452. But how I came to know and how I was endorsed for this Peace Fellowship is not from my district, unfortunately. I was endorsed by a district in North Carolina. So basically a previous Rotary Peace Fellow. She's a previous Rotary Peace Fellow, and she had this organization called Nugent Peace Builders. And she met me in Lebanon while implementing a project under the area of focus of peace in Lebanon for about 90 young people, where I was a mentor there. And she told me, like, you should apply to this. It's amazing. Look at the different majors and the opportunities you get. And my Rotary Club will meet you, and they would endorse you if they approve of everything. So that's what happened the first time. And when I got rejected, they contacted me again and they told me not to give up. And also my Rotarians and the environment that I am in Lebanon and in my district also supported me in all aspects. And for the second time, I applied and I was able to be part of this. So for me, the Rotary Peace Fellowship is not only a master's that I will finish and then I will have a career or whatever. It's a whole thing. It's a package of the network that I am getting, and I'm still like getting informed and meeting new people with amazing backgrounds and amazing career paths. It's the whole thing. It's the community. It's the culture that right here in the middle, like in the north part of the UK. You get to know and understand, and it's the different opportunities that even the university itself brings. So yeah, this is it. And I've been, ever since I got the Peace Fellowship, I've been asked by different Rotaract clubs all over my district in Lebanon, District 2452, but also in Europe, because I'm part of Rotaract Europe now, to talk about my experience and to talk about my fellowship. And even because I believe that the the best applicants for me, like to push them in order to be Rotary Peace Fellow and to tell them about this opportunity, because it's not that famous as a scholarship, and I don't know why it's like the perfect scholarship to get. Are Rotaractors, because they work for the community in a volunteering way. They have different perspectives on what peace should be, on what aspects of peace can be, on gender projects, on education, etc. So I hope that as Rotaractors and as non-Rotaractors that you get the chance to have this opportunity. It's life-changing. And yeah, if you guys have any questions that you want to ask, I'll be happy to answer. Any questions?
Thank you, Elise. Let's go for Juanita first, and then we move the question all at once. Thank you. Juanita?
Yes.
Can you provide us with your testimony about the Peace Fellowship?
Yes, so my name is Juanita Serrano. I am from Colombia. I applied to the Rotary Peace Fellowship in 2021, and I got selected for the Bradford University. I studied the Master in Peace, Resilience, and Social Justice. I want to give maybe a very specific advice that was given from a ex-Rotary Peace Fellow as well, from Colombia. And I think that really made a difference in my application. So he said to me, when you finish your essays, ask 3 people to revise them. One person that really know about your career, about your professional life. One person that really knows you as a person, as a human being, like a friend or a family member, someone really close to you in that personal level. And the third advice was a person who really, really knows how to write grammatically perfect in English. And I think that advice clearly show a lot of different sides and opinions in my application, and it really allowed me to show information that was maybe written in a very vague way. So I think that's one of the main advices that I can give you all in this moment. During my experience in Bradford, I got the opportunity to be the president of the Peace Society, which is something really new for me because in Colombia we don't have these figures of students united for a purpose. So it really made a difference also in my experience in the university as a student, but also like kind of an activist within the Rotary Peace Fellows that were with me, but also other students. So it's really an opportunity to do things differently. Right now, I am working in Jordan, so I want to also add that the Rotary Peace Fellow Scholarship opens you a lot of doors. It was never in my plans to work in the MENA region. Now I'm the project manager of one of very important NGOs here in Jordan. So I think the Rotary Peace Fellowship is really complete in the process. Like it gives you everything what you need and more. For example, amazing teachers and professors like Fiona and all the professors that I had in the university that are amazing human beings. But also after it, when you finish your program, it gives you a really good network of friends and professional opportunities. So my advices are, please write about you, about your experiences, about how important is peace building in whatever the field that you work in, and try to reach as much people about their opinions on your proposals, on your essays. So a lot of people can be able to also give you different advices. Thank you so much. And also if you have any questions, I'm very available.
Thank you, Juanita. We'll open the door for questions now. So basically, I will ask all our panelists to be in the spotlight right now. Well, we cannot actually have more than one, or more than two in the spotlight. So, please, whoever has a question, so if you can raise your hand and we'll direct it to the relevant panelist. Any questions? Okay, we'll take a couple of questions from the chat so far. And we have a question from Margaret Nijiha. Can one undertake research in the area that touches on families, basically intimate partner violence? And I guess she meant that by she meant GBV, gender-based violence. So probably I would direct this question to Thomas, Karen, and Fiona, and Dixon. Are there any GBV related courses within the ESL?
So just to, I did reply. Yes, I teach gender conflict and development. Gender-based violence is a research area of mine. I think there's a slight distinction between sort of policy orientation, where I think if you're very closely connected to the process of working directly with families, then maybe a social work degree might be a better fit. I mean, because we'll take a broad view here at Bradford, whereas I know there is a social work degree available.
Okay, thank you, Fiona. Thomas?
Yes, I can actually jump in here. Yes, this is absolutely a topic that several of our fellows at Duke and UNC have been involved in, particularly on the UNC side. We've had several fellows who have come at this question from a public health angle, who have been pursuing our master's degree in public health with a concentration in global public health. I know there was a fellow that came through just a few years ago that was working in South Africa and was exploring the question of involving community-based actors in addressing community-based health actors in addressing gender-based violence locally. And then as Fiona has already alluded to, we have a Master of Social Work program where I believe that this topic would be a good fit as well.
Okay, Dixon, do you have an answer for that in Makerere University?
Yep. Many students have been doing that, many social initiatives on GBV and intimate partner violence. We also have professors from the Institute of Gender and Women's Studies here who teach on the program, so they provide a mentorship. Each fellow is given a mentor when they have implemented their social change initiative. So to answer directly, yes, you can do your research in that area.
Okay, thank you, Dixon. Bauer was asking if there are any restrictions regarding nationalities, and I guess Jacqueline, you could answer that.
Yeah, I'd be happy to answer that. No restrictions. What we do say though is that if you apply and you are selected, you must look to gain admission to the university, as well as be able to obtain a visa to travel to your study country. And so, but there are no restrictions to apply for the program. We actually welcome candidates from all different backgrounds, including geographical regions.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Sahira was asking if we could clarify the attendance requirements for the programs. Are they exclusively in person or virtual or in hybrid options available?
So both our programs are primarily, it's basically all in person. Our master's degree programs are all in person, so you'd be going to the study country. As far as the certificate programs, It's a one-year program where you have an initial 1 week online before you actually go to either Uganda or Istanbul. And then you spend 10 weeks on site at the university in either of those countries, or cities, apologies. And then once that initial 10 weeks is finished and you've taken your courses and done your field visits, you return back either to your home or country of employment, et cetera, to actually implement your social change initiative. And then after those 9 months, you will return back to the Peace Center for a 1 week kind of capstone ending of your seminar. So master's program is all in person. Whereas their certificate program, I guess you could kind of see it as a hybrid because you must go back home or to your country of employment to actually implement your social change initiative. But I would say primarily in person.
Okay, thank you. So Augustina Marie was asking is, as a social worker, and she's a teacher as well, working in peace, would that be a combination for her to apply for the Duke University one? I guess that's Jacqueline and Thomas both.
Yeah, Tom, I can go kind of like and just give a general. So basically, we see peace building and peace development. We see people from all different career paths apply. We see people who work for NGOs, people who work in refugee camps, people who are teachers, people who are police officers, social workers, lawyers. So just as long as you're doing your work relates to peace building and development and you're able to explain that in your essays in your application, then it's basically open to anybody who's working in those fields. As far as if that person would be a good fit for Duke UNC, it really depends on. I would really recommend doing the research for each one of the universities and the different programs that they offer and seeing how that would be a good fit. So that's really depends on the person's what other qualifications and experience they have.
Thomas?
Yeah, I mean that's very well put, Jacqueline. From our perspective, we have at our center, we have like like as Jacqueline alluded to, sometimes folks coming from social work have applied for the International Development Policy Program, and they're a good fit for it, right? Because they might have a background in social work, but they have done work, whether it's for an NGO, whether it's for a municipal or community government, or something along those lines, implementing development policy. And so, that transition is really easy. But a lot of times, people who, like it all depends on the fit, right? Someone's background in social work would oftentimes, place them into consideration for the Master of Social Work program at UNC, or other programs like public health or global studies or what have you, depending on the goals outlined in the application, as well as what the fellow wants to do, after their 2 years of study at Duke UNC.
Thank you, Thomas. Sahira has been asking on the selection criteria, and I guess we've touched base on that. Jacqueline did that. But she's asking, is it the same for all participating universities?
What criteria? I'm sorry.
Sahira Kandah is asking if the selection criteria is the same for all participating agencies.
I would say broadly, there are core eligibility requirements for all master's programs, but those would differ from the certificate program. So it really depends on what program you're applying to. And then again, if you're selected, especially for our master's programs, you must be able to obtain admission to the university. So you'll have to meet the university's requirements there as well.
Okay. And she's asking something, and I think I would invite her to unmute and like, elaborate on what she means by that. Is it possible to apply for multiple fellowship programs or limit to a single program? I'm not sure I got the question. Jacqueline, did you get the question?
I
Or
think I
Sahar, if you can
understand that.
elaborate.
I'm if and she can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking what she's trying to say is that when she's applying for the fellowship, can she select different universities or the master's program as well as the certificate program? So when you apply for the program, if you're applying for the master's degree seeking program, you'll be able to select your first preference of the university you'd like to go to, as well as your second preference. But again, the essays will really show if you've done your research and really looked into to see if either of those universities is a good fit for you, and if you're a good fit for those universities. So that being said, if you're applying for the master's degree, you can select up to 2 preference there. You cannot apply for the master's degree and within that same application, apply for the certificate program. So you basically have to choose one or the other. Are you applying for the certificate program, the 1-year program, or are you applying for the master's degree 15-month to 22-month program?
Okay, thank you, Jacqueline. Then Margaret is asking, why is the program not open to active Rotarians?
Yeah, I can
Jacqueline.
answer that as well. So this comes from basically a policy that Rotary has. It's a conflict of interest. As I mentioned, the funding for our program comes from Rotary members and donors, and it would just be seen as a conflict of interest if they were also a recipient of those funds. But keep in mind, again, I'm not encouraged because it's the exact opposite. We want there to be more Rotary members, but if at any point you terminate your membership, you are eligible to apply for a program, but 3 years after post termination. Also keep in mind too that it is open to Rotaractors, which is like a big highlight and something I want to stress. Just as long as they're not also Rotary members, that they don't have that dual membership.
But if you're interested in peace, Margaret, as a Rotarian, there's another window for you where you can join the Peace Activated program. There's one right now taking place in Istanbul, and then I believe there will be multiple ones around the world. So it is also an opportunity for Rotarians to take place in such programs. Sahira has the last question here. Or the one before the last. In the eligibility criteria, is the 3-year break between the last academic degree and the desired start application, is it to all academic degrees or the fellowship degree? She completed her BA 17 years ago and her master's degree last year. So can she apply or not?
You can apply, just not now. So basically what that means is because you completed your master's degree last year, you need to actually wait 3 years. So basically, let's say you completed your master's degree in 2024, and the fellowship program you're applying to will begin in 3 years. That's okay. But there has to be 3 years between when you graduated from your last degree seeking program and the start of the fellowship program that you're looking to apply to.
Okay, thank you, Jacqueline. Last question, what's the ideal age criteria? And that, I guess,
So we really don't look at, we've had fellows from all different ages, very young, again, would have had to complete a bachelor's degree. So, somewhere in the 20s to fellows that have gone up to their 60s, 70s, especially in our certificate program. Our certificate program, we typically see older, more seasoned peace building professionals. And our master's degree, we tend to see more peace builders that are at the start of their career. So there is no age criteria. You just have to make sure that you have a bachelor's degree at the very minimum.
Okay, thank you. And I believe those were all the questions. So unless there's anything more else, I would like to give the mic back to President Firas to conclude the session.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And I'd like speakers today for the great and valuable information. It's been very insightful and very useful for all the people who are willing to apply for this program. Special thanks to Past President Julius for coordinating and communicating with all the speakers and making this session possible today. And thank you all for participating in this session.
Thank you, President Firas. And as well, if you would like to have any information, please contact us on this email. I'll be happy to respond as soon as I can.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Take care,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Good night.
Great
Bye-bye.
session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.